Howdy ho, friends. Welcome to Let's Build a Shelter Part 2. Looks like we got some storm damage to deal with. We've had, oh man, 2 days with the terrible weather here in the Midwest. We had 4 tornadoes the other day. Can you believe that? Yeah, I know, it's fall. Go figure. Oh, I want to answer a couple comments real quick that I had in the first series. If you haven't seen that one yet, please stop this video now and check out Let's Build a Shelter Part 1. First, a gentleman asked, where do I get my mule tape? Well, I get it from a friend of mine who's a cable installer, and he's got spools of the stuff and just gives it to me. After they get done using it, of course. He can't give me the new stuff. But if you wanted some yourself, you can either find an electrician or somebody who does cable or video surveillance and get it from them. The other option is go on to Amazon. You have to buy it by the spool. They're big freaking spools, and there's 2 different sizes. I think I'm using the smaller of the 2 sizes. I'll have to look a little bit later and give you that information. Now, this comment was really important. It's by Steve, and he made one of the best points ever that I could ever think of. He says this shelter build is taking a lot longer than it does in the survival book. And I'm actually going to add a couple other things to it. I've seen videos on, well, you know where they whip one of these shelters out in an hour. That's not going to happen, friends. I mean, I could put together a really quick lean-to in a couple hours. It'll be crappy. Or a shelter similar to this in about 4 hours. But to do what I'm doing, it's going to take a full day of continuously working on it, which I obviously haven't been doing because I screw around a lot when I'm out here. So that was a really good point, Steve, and I really appreciate you putting that there, and I'm going to answer that comment as soon as I get some downtime. Speaking of work, yeah, I'm getting a little long-winded. We need to get to the live action soon here. They want me to go to 6 nights a week. I've got another place that wants to come on for a show, and that would only leave me Monday nights for my free time, and I don't know if I want to do it yet or not. I mean, the money's great, but you got to draw a line somewhere. Let's get to the good stuff, shall we? This is why you're here. We got some storm damage to remove. And with that rain we had, I really didn't want to cut this vine. I'm going to have to. Oh, well. Anyway, with that rain we had, I'm sure it kind of caved our holes in a little bit, our trenches. Yeah, we're going to have to dig those out. Not a big deal. Main goal today, get the back section done. I could probably knock that out in about an hour. Not a big deal. Work on this front section. I'm trying to decide how I want to fill this in. Yep, I'm going to have to cut that line. Darn it. Let's probably bring my poles up. Up. Yeah, we'll probably do that. There's another option. We could take this main supporting pole, slide it back. It causes one problem. It will lift the shelter 2 foot. All them side pieces will fall in on itself. Another way to fix that is dig that down 2 foot and sink the pole in, which causes another problem. Then we lose our forward stability, which I don't want to lose. So if some wind hit the backside real hard, it just push it forward. Easy fix is run a pole from here to the tree. But I don't know. We'll see how we go, how it gets. We'll see what happens when we get to that point. Let's put it that way. And then we need to talk about filling these in. If we get to that today, great. If not, not a big deal. Here, I don't have any. It's mostly sand. But up on the higher sections where you'll see more grass, if you dig down a ways, we can get into some clay. And I really want to fill them gaps in with clay. But I don't know, that's probably going to be a project for another day. Well, okay, we're going to do a hyperlapse as usual. I love those things. I do believe we need to get started. Let's take a look at the progress I've done so far. We've got it all filled in with our wood on that side. This side over here, I started piling sand up on it and then putting some leaves on top of it, you know, just to camouflage it. When I leave, I'm going to take that pile of leaves and put it back on top. We got these gaps to fill in, no big deal. We're just going to take little pieces of wood like this. We find a gap, fill it in like so. That'll fit right there, kind of. We better get a better piece. Pack the sand around the front. I jumped ahead of myself a little bit and found this awesome little cross section that has this really funky looking Y in it, and it's going to be perfect. Unfortunately, I need to take it, flip it around on the other side of this right here. And we could probably do that real quick. And I just kind of, whoops, sorry about that. Just kind of temporary tied this on here just to get a look and see what it's gonna be. Yeah, it needs to go like that. Definitely. I need to cut this here to get that to work and probably flip that around on that side. Anyway, we'll get started on that here in a minute. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's gonna rain or if it's gonna snow or what. It is getting cold and it is very freaking cloudy. Okay, this side, still got a couple more gaps to do. Not a big deal, easy fix. I might do that. This is probably gonna be a part 3, friends. There's no way around it. But as the shelter sits, it's usable. I mean, there's gonna be some wind coming in. Now, oh wow, I can really see with the camera. Couldn't see earlier. There you go, a flashlight. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'll quit screwing around. What are you? It's a cricket. I've got most of the sand on the sides poked down into, or pushed down into the holes. Remember when I said I was cutting this wood, that only 3 foot was just going to be unusable? That is why right there, it's about 3 foot. I'm started digging the trench out. Man, it's really warm in here, surprisingly, with all these gaps in the wood. Anyway, I started digging the trench out for my body, and that's working out really well. And then filling this in here and that in there. Now, a couple of things I want to show you. Let's get up real quick. I need a lot of sand or clay to put on the sides. I'd really like to use clay. Unfortunately, I can't really test for it. What I do is I dig a big hole. Oh, you can barely hear it. They're target practicing at the hunter's camp. Yep, they're getting ready for deer season. We got to be really careful. Anyway, so we're not going to be testing for clay today, but I have a suspicion up on that mound up there where you see all the vegetation, there's a good spot of clay. What we're going to do is we'll find it and I'll test for it and I'll show you how I do that. Then we're going to transport it down here on this bucket I found a little while back. You can kind of see it over there. I wonder if the zoom works on this. Hey, it does. That little guy right there, we can use it to transport our clay. Now I found a whole new area for building, to grab building materials from, and that's over this way. This is the area I am talking about. Look at all this deadfall, and it's off the ground, which is freaking perfect for what I need to do. And there's some beaver chew over there, which means that is fresh. The only problem is we got to cut it all free. Not a big deal. Now I want to call your attention to this real quick. Let's get down in this valley here. The shelter is that way, not more than 60 foot from here. Can you see it? We are surrounded by all this debris and these trees out here. That thing is freaking hidden. You would have to seriously stumble upon it. You still can't see it. Okay. If you look right through there, there's the shelter. If you look right over there, there's my pack. And now we're, let's get a little closer. Well, let's say now 50 foot. See how hidden that thing is? Okay, I'm going to cut down some of these deadfalls and take them over there, and then we're going to start on the second half of the shelter. Carried this big one back from me. Unfortunately, that end has to be cut off. That's all dry rot. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this. I'm going to trim these off, and I got a couple bad spots inside the shelter I need to trim off so you don't get caught on them. I might leave that one. Then loosely, well, tie that back on a little better than I did before, using, of course, the bob knot. We're going to figure out where we're going to be from here. Probably over here somewhere. Yeah, looks about right. And dig our trench, and then start building on this section. I think this is going to be a good stopping point. We've got an hour and a half of sunlight left, and we could probably whip it out if I wanted to, but like I said, there's a spot in the woods I don't like going to at night. And to top that off, it starts sprinkling every once in a while, and I really don't feel like getting wet. You know what? Right behind me this whole time, see that big root ball? I guarantee there's clay underneath of it. So I found my clay. That's freaking awesome. It's not going to be pure. There's going to be a lot of sand and silt mixed in with it, but it's going to do what I need to do. Let's take a look and see what I've done so far. I flipped this over like I said I was going to do, and then I tied the all-important bob knot to put it on there, and I think it's going to hold. It's got some tension on it. It's not really cutting into the tree. Most of the weight is being took by this little fork here and a nubbin, which that's good. It's not going to hurt the tree. And ooh, got a little belchy going on. I do believe I ate for a snack a questionable lemon square. It was expired by 5 or 6 months. Hopefully I'm okay. We'll find out. Anyway, we did another bob knot here. We tied around there, and then tied it off here. I cut a groove in the pole to pull it nice and taut, and then I just tightened these knot lashings up down here as tight as I can get them. We'll see how this holds up. It is supposed to rain for the next 3 days on and off pretty freaking hard, which is good because it's going to make this sand settle in. It's going to get that clay over there wet so we can work with it, and it'll be able to test how well this mule tape holds up. This is where the trench is. I stopped it right here, which will line up with the tree. Perfect. And I put a log in there to keep these from sliding when it's raining. But we've got quite a bit done on this side. We still got to fill this out the rest of the way. I've still got to fill a lot of the holes over here. That's going to be the secondary project of the next build. I want to get that done and get all the materials for that before it gets too cold. Looking for stuff in the snow is not fun. This side I've started filling in. There. That needs to be filled in, not a big deal. Up here, and then we'll just put the clay inside the lost my train of thought. Anyway, the clay in beside the logs there, and that'll be used as hopefully keep some of the weather out. And then we'll just pile sand and leaves on it. And of course I did some camouflage work. Okay, we're gonna wrap the video up, friends. So there is going to be a part 3, it would appear. I know. It's just taking at this point though, on all seriousness, you could use the shelter. You just have to cover the front. You can fit inside there. It's going to be a little uncomfortable with the wind coming in, but you can use it. All right, let's wrap the video up. I'm getting a little long-winded. Comments are always welcome. I'll try to answer them, friends, but like I said, I'm going to be up to 6 nights a week working, and that does not make me happy at the moment, but you got to do what you got to do. And train. Like always, friends, thanks for watching.